Hey, where's Lynxspur? Lynxspur's not here tonight. Ronco's here. Hey, Kathy, how are ya? Well, let's get a roll on here. Broadcasting from beautiful downtown Cleveland, it's station WDWL TV with me, the grumpy old man, with a guest appearance by the Grumpy Jackalope. And we are brought to you by Grumpy Vulture Productions. No bow. And for
But out of that, a new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of us.
And now, the nightly ceremonial lighting of the Festivus pole. There we go. I just got done cooking. I fried up a nice fresh batch of peppers and onions, and I cooked all the Italian sausage. So after the show, we're going to have a cheesy Italian hoagie. I can't wait. I'm going to make it just the way it was made on the video. Slather it with spaghetti sauce. One half of the baguette gets mozzarella. One half gets provolone. Into the broiler to melt the cheese. As soon as the cheese melts, on with the Italian sausage and heap it with peppers and onions. I'll probably be wearing most of it. It worked out perfect. I have 4 pieces of Italian sausage, and the baguette will get me 4 hoagie rolls. And I have a shitload of peppers to fry up yet, so. And a big giant yellow onion. I'm only frying enough peppers and onions per sandwich. Which basically it will be an Italian pepper and onion sandwich with a little bit of Italian sausage. That might even be dinner for Christmas. I don't care. I ain't fixing nothing special. Although, I am thinking of getting one of those canned what is it, DAC or DAK, the small canned ham. I might do that for Christmas Day. Get me a small can of pineapple, and then do the ham with a glaze and pineapple, and just enough for a couple of meals. Some sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes and some nice fresh horseradish. That's the only way to eat the sandwich, Kathy. It's got to be heaped with peppers and onions. It's the only way to eat it. It's the best part of the sandwich. I used to make them back in the day. And I remember my son's mother would be like, "Whoa, don't put all that peppers and onions on there." I was like, that's the best part of the sandwich. I said, okay, more for me. I don't understand. Last night my audio meter wasn't working. Tonight it's working. I don't. Although I was watching someone today, Rabbit Hole Rocks, and she uses OBS. And I'm going to email her and see if she can walk me through how you put a video up during a show, because she's already worked the bugs out of it, so she should be able to tell me the easy way to do it. I never heard of Italian hot dog sandwiches. What do you make them like an Italian sausage sandwich, but substitute a hot dog instead? That's kind of a poor man's hoagie. I'll never forget. I had a father-in-law at the time that I think his cheese fell off his cracker. He invited us over for his Italian spaghetti. Now, he was Italian. So he did make the sauce from scratch. I'll give him that. So we all sit down, and I'm thinking, where did he get this little skinny Italian sausage from? Then I discovered when I bit into it, it wasn't Italian sausage. It was Bob Evans breakfast sausage. I'm like, who puts Bob Evans breakfast sausage in spaghetti sauce? Him, of course. I guess he forgot to buy Italian sausage and he thought he could sneak by with Bob Evans breakfast sausage. Needless to say, it was interesting tasting spaghetti. And we're on day 4 of the antibiotics, and they're not kicking in as fast as I thought. I thought for sure today I would have a little better throat, but it's not there yet. Maybe tomorrow. Let's hope. Of course, me, I get the oddball lingering kind. But I actually thought the throat would feel a lot better today, but not too much difference than yesterday. Although I do have one antibiotic to take tonight and then 2 for tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I've got till New Year's Eve to sing, so yeah, you got that right, Ron. Horrible. Man, I'm hoping 2026 is a lot better than Oh, I meant to ask you, Ron. Did you get your notice from Social Security with the big whopping increase we get for next year? Real generous they are. Jesus. I'd like to see Mr. Big Hair live on what I have to live on for a month. Yeah, I opened that thing up yesterday. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, I got mine yesterday. I just I don't understand. The average senior citizen is barely surviving. And then you look forward to the increase until you see what the increase is. Holy shit. Ah, damn, Ron. Not me. Christ, I wish I was getting $80 more. I'm getting a whole whopping 30. It 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 it, it doesn't even match with inflation. That's the sad part. Because by the time utilities go up and food prices go up, you won't even notice it. I think a lot of my problem come because I went on disability in 04. And I wasn't even 60. But just, that was sad to open that envelope. Just ruined my day. I was like, oh, whoopee. Like I say, with, utilities going up, everything going up, you're actually getting less. Well, you it's obvious you earned a lot more than I did before you went on disability. It's just sad to think from, age 18 when I actually started paying into Social Security. You work all your life and you got nothing to show for it. And it's sad to think there's some seniors out there that are getting way less than what I'm getting. I don't know how I just, like the woman down the street. She got, she gets $900 a month. I don't know how she manages because she's got to make her monthly, property tax payment. Between that and utilities, I don't know how I. No wonder she lives like a hermit. You rarely see her out, Woman's probably eating cat food. Well, it's not that I didn't like the song, Ron. I'm not a big ho 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 Christmas spirit person. I'll get through one. I'm not going to sit here and sing a whole list of Christmas carols. I never heard of that fund. Never heard of it. Well, of course, I don't live in New Jersey either. Well, that's what I said. You were in New Jersey, not me. I wish they had something like that in Ohio. Whatever, I'll tough it out like I've been. It just basically, with the inflation rate, I just have to tighten my belt a little more for 2026. You just before, well, I finished up cooking and I walked past the bedroom and there, I look in there and old Fatso is on his back, 4 feet in the air, with his head on my pillow. I'm like, gee, are you comfy? I, everyone, and I mean, head on my pillow. A cat's more human than he is cat. He's always got to have his head on my pillow. Like when I made the bed this morning, I pushed the pillows up. He pulls it down. Because I had them, well, every morning I push them up. God damn it, if he doesn't pull it down so that he can lay his head on it. I'm surprised he doesn't pull a blanket over him. Goddamn spoiled cat. I mean, out of all the cats I've ever owned, none, first of all, none of them have slept on their back. And none of them have ever made sure that their head is comfortable with a pillow. Then when I go to get in bed at night, he gets all pissed off because I'm like, hey, move over. It's my pillow. Your goddamn temperature Well, what are we sitting at right now? 24. I can always tell when it's below 32 because the furnace just keeps cranking and cranking and cranking. Oh, geez. Kind of makes you wonder why the hell you make the bed, like with him. Why bother? He is something else, I'll say that. Oh, go ahead, rub it in, Ron. Rub it in, 76 degree. Rub it in. I don't know how you can put up with them triple digit temperatures, though. Oh, God. Well, I'll trade 48 for 24. Although you haven't had any snow yet. Somebody the somebody today on I was going through Facebook on my telephone, and they were showing pictures of the blizzard of 78, and they were like, "Do you remember where you were?" Yeah, fighting my way to work, only to walk in the door and the supervisor say, "Office closed. Everybody go home." I'm like, what? Took me 2 hours to get here. What a nerve they got closing the office. Yeah, it took me 2 hours. Usually 45 minutes. Took me 2 hours. Walk in the building, and everybody's putting their coats on. I'm like, what's going on here? They just closed all county offices. Everyone go home. Go home? And then I think the offices were closed. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think. Was that a Thursday? Yeah, it must have been because the office was closed the next day, and then it was the weekend, and come Monday they finally dug the city out. Oh, Kathy, you don't know how pissed off I was. I no sooner walked in the back door and I come up the steps into the office, and everybody's putting their coats on. I'm like, what's everybody putting their coat on? Don't we have any heat? I'm like, yeah, the building's warm. What do you mean we're going home? I just got here. Yep, office closed. Although I think it only took me an hour and a half to get home because I think the plows were actually starting to make a little dent in the main roads. But 2 hours to get to work. And then, well, at least one thing, I had instant heat because my van never even cooled off. It was so goddamn cold that every now and then I would have to shut the wipers off and beat the frozen snow off them because the windshield wouldn't get hot enough to defrost the wipers. Then it turn around, turn around and drive right back home. Oh man! And boy, I'll tell you what, that storm caught Ohio off guard. It rolled in with a vengeance. Yeah, it. As a matter of fact, I remember I was going down. I took the shoreway to work, and the wind was so strong coming off the lake that it was literally blowing the snow right back on the road surface. The plow would go, and the next thing you know, that was a hell of a storm. Every, put it this way, every city, every municipality, everybody got caught with their pants down because that storm rolled in with a vengeance. Matter of fact, I remember it was so bad at Dead Man's Curve that they couldn't keep the roadway clear. Cars were literally getting buried, and they had a hell of a time getting tow trucks in. And yeah, it was. Matter of fact, they show pictures of the cars at Dead Man's Curve, and you can just barely see the roofs. I don't ever want to see a storm like that roll through here ever again. Once in a lifetime was enough. That 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 weather even caught old Dick Goddard with his pants down. I remember he was apologizing, going, I didn't think it was going to come in like that. Of course, 78, they didn't have the forecasting equipment that they have today, but I don't ever want to see a storm like that again. I remember the houses across the street from me because the wind was blowing in that direction. The snow and some of the houses had drifted over the front windows. You couldn't see the front door. You couldn't see the windows for the frickin' snow drift. Nothing like waking up in the morning and opening the front door and going, holy shit, I'm in an igloo. I looked out, I lived on the opposite side of the street, so I didn't have that much snow in the driveway. And when I left for work, I left right behind the plow. And then they had the road somewhat clear because I went down Breal Road, up 117th to Clifton, then Clifton to the Shoreway. But it still took me 2 hours. Even Lakewood, who is, God, one snowflake falls and the whole plowing fleet comes out. Even Lakewood got caught with their pants down. Because Lakewood does that. They line 4 plows up on Clifton. And they stagger them. And then they take off. All 4 at once. It's interesting to watch them clear Clifton. It really is. Because the first truck starts down, it throws over to the, and then the third truck is staggered and it catches what the second truck throws. And then the fourth truck is staggered and it throws it up on the sidewalk. Oh, man. No wonder you moved to Arizona. That was one of the few times when the city of New York came to a standstill. I don't know how people can live in that city. God damn, it's expensive. Christ, I remember my buddy's daughter had a Christ, her apartment was like the size of 2 closets. And she was paying like $1,200 a month, and that was back in 1970. Sitting here talking about snow, I'm going to jinx myself. I didn't. Let me take a look at the forecast here. Come on. Well, tomorrow it's going to be 38. Tuesday's going to be 45. Wednesday, 44. Thursday, 53. And Friday, 55. Well, don't look like we're getting a white Christmas. Thank God. Got 55 degrees. I'll be able to put my fog light on the hood of the Passat. Problem is, I have to find them little itty bitty Allen wrenches. Yeah, Kathy. The Shoreway runs right along Edgewater Park. That's why the snow is so nasty, because that wind comes right whipping off the lake. Because basically, you know, where they made their mistake when they built the Shoreway is on the right side when you're going downtown. It's got a you know, they dug down, so there's like a windbreak. So the snow hits the windbreak and piles up. Because what people don't realize is they literally backfilled because the lake came actually up to where the Shoreway is, and they hauled in, I don't know how many million tons of earth so that they could build the Shoreway. Christ, I was at Edgewater Park that year that goddamn tornado come in off the lake. Me and my friends were down there for a picnic, and the wind was so bad, we were literally laying on the ground behind the car, hanging onto the bumper so that we didn't get blown away. Man, our hands were all cut to shit. I can't remember what year that was. That storm rolled in off that lake. Nobody had a chance. One minute we're enjoying a picnic and look out over the lake and this big black cloud is moving. Matter of fact, I was hanging on the back bumper, and I literally had my legs wrapped around my girlfriend to keep her from blowing away. That's why they always say, if you don't like Cleveland weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. So according to the forecast, we ain't having no snow. 55 degrees. Oh man, I can't wait. I can get my ultra thin fog lamp mounted up on the hood. Because I got the brackets on the hood. All I have to do is move them in. And it'll be easy running the wiring. I just have to figure out where I'm going to mount the switch. God, I'll be able to mount my turbo boost gauge too. Although that might have to wait. No, I could mount that. Yeah. It's just the other two gauges I won't be able to wire up. Yeah, I'd like to get the turbo boost gauge in. Not that I'm going to know what I'm looking at. Gee, with no snow for Christmas, I hope a lot of kids don't get sleds. They'll really be depressed. Oh, look, I got a sled. We ain't got no snow. Yeah, I remember when I was small. I got a sled for Christmas, and we didn't have any decent snow for like a month. Couldn't go sled riding. Wanted to try out the new sled. That was back in the days before they had the safety runners. You know, they fold up around the back now. You know, I had one of them sleds where the runner could poke your eye out. It was just a straight blade out the back. None of this curved safety shit like they have nowadays. Is when it finally snowed, my grandfather took me down to Met Park. I got to try out my sled. Yeah, you trudge all the way up the hill. You get on your sled. You get about 20 seconds of sled ride, and then it takes you half an hour to get back up the hill. Those were the days. Those were the days when cold didn't mean shit. You'd spend all day outside. I remember my mother going, "Aren't you cold?" No. Now I step out the door and I go like, "Holy shit." Then like today, I had to run up the store. By the time I ran up at the store and came back, I still didn't have any heat. Goddamn car didn't even get a chance to warm up. And they tell you with this turbo, you don't let it sit. Like with the Nissan, the weather be cold, I'd fire the truck up, I'd come back in the house, have a cup of coffee, go outside, the car's nice and warm. They tell you, don't do that with a turbo engine. I don't know if my mother, yeah, we would have had to because those were still in the days of paper grocery bags. So yeah, you saved the bread bags. Put a couple pair of heavy socks on. Put your foot in the bread bag. Put the bread bag in the boot. Had a couple of pair of gloves so that one pair got wet, you'd tuck them in your pocket, pull out the dry pair. I always had like 3 or 4 pair of gloves in my coat. That was the only thing. As long as your feet and your hands were warm. But like I say, when you're a kid, cold don't mean shit. You'd be out all day. I can remember all the kids' mothers. Aren't you kids cold? No. All right, stay out. Then it took like fucking 48 hours for your snowsuit to dry out. It's like I see kids today, same thing. I mean, when you're a kid, cold don't mean shit to you. I see these kids running around outside for hours. Oh, my neighbor's standing out in the driveway. I hear a phone ringing. You can tell the cold weather is affecting people's cars because he no sooner comes home, like right now. He backed in the driveway. The phone's ringing again. I'll be hearing the truck start up any second now. Christ, he left like at 5:30 this morning. I heard him. He no sooner comes home, backs the truck in the drive. He don't even get in the house. Phone ringing. Must be doing a shitload of jump starts. Oh, Christ, he's bitching. He's got to go to the airport. What parking lot? I just heard him go, what parking lot? Probably somebody that is in long-term parking and their car is so goddamn dead, he'll end up towing it probably. Yeah. Yeah, I heard him yell, what parking lot? Long term. That's the cricket from your bedroom, Ron. You and crickets, Jesus. Well, I have to stop and think, you're out in Arizona, you're not in Ohio. It's probably the cricket that was in his bedroom last night. Moved out into the kitchen, went for a bite to eat. That's the problem with being on the main floor. I bet you they don't get no crickets upstairs. Why, did you find the cricket last night? And it went from being a insect to a vegetable. Went from chirp chirp to squash. That's if you can find the damn things. That's like in the summer, the trailer park where my aunt and uncle had their trailer, their mobile home, manufactured housing, whatever they call them. They would get them palmetto bugs. They look like giant cockroaches. The exterminator was there like every 2 weeks. My aunt would see one, get out here. The guy'd say, I just sprayed. Well, get out here and spray again. I wonder why they're coming in Ron's apartment. You would think with the decent weather outside that, they would stay outside. They must be coming in through the sliding door. Either that or your sash on your front door has got an opening underneath it for them to crawl under. Yeah, that's what I said. You're on the ground floor, and they're either coming in through your sliding door or your what do they call it? Air sweep at the bottom of your door isn't tight. They find that little opening. I'm going into Ron's bedroom. Now they're in the kitchen. You need to get some Raid. Spray along the sliding door and spray along underneath the front door. Keep them from coming in. There's nothing more irritating than a goddamn cricket because you can never find them. Well, you ain't going to be there that much longer. Just look on the bright side. Time will go fast. Then you'll be out of that place. Somebody else will have to put up with the elephants upstairs. Good to the last drop. Need to have that on. So, is everybody coming over to your house, Kathy, for. Do you do Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or how do you do your Christmas? We used to open all the gifts on Christmas Eve because Christmas Day was always going, to my grandparents' house for the feast. We did the same thing. Well, what we do is let my son open the majority of his gifts on Christmas Eve and then save like the biggest gift for Christmas morning. Oh, cool. Is she doing all the cooking, or is it going to be a collective effort? Everybody will meet there and cook. Me, I'll be right here. Just another frickin' day. Ah, humbug. Collective effort. But see, you got grandkids. To me, it really don't make a difference. It's just another day. Don't really bother me. I don't. I had memories with my son when he was little, so no big deal. I don't know if he's going to his mother's. I don't ask. Probably. Especially with her being by herself. She'll probably pick him up and although if she picks him up, she'll take him to church, which I know he'll hate. Because she has to go to church on Christmas Day. Although I think their church does like a breakfast. Or if not a breakfast, something in the fellowship hall after the service. If she picks him up and takes him, oh boy, there'll be lightning bolts hitting that building. He hasn't been in church in ages. Oh, neither have I. Christ, the last time I was in church has got to be 50 years ago. Maybe even 60. Although we had a goddamn pastor, he was money hungry. He came up with this idea and he would preach it once a month. You know, you should take the first 10% of your paycheck and give it to the church. That way you won't miss it. I'd miss it. Yeah, he used to preach that. Oh, it'll only take you a couple of months to get used to it, and then you won't even miss it. Just automatically take the first 10% right off the top of your paycheck and support the church. And I mean, every month, if he didn't get the amount of money he thought should be coming in, he would preach it. You know, there's some of you that aren't taking that 10%. Yeah. After the second month, you won't even miss that money. I mean, you know, there was a guy had no pride. He kind of calculated how much money should be coming in. And if the figures didn't meet his calculations, the first of the month, you know, there's a lot of you that aren't taking that 10% off the top of your paycheck. You know, after the second month, you won't even miss that money. What? And you would hear it over and over and over. And he was never fucking happy. And on the Sunday collection, when they passed the baskets, he would have the nerve to say, I want to hear silent baskets. You know, that change makes noise. Really? Well, you don't have to worry about it. I'll keep that change in my pocket. Yeah, he wanted silence when the basket got passed. That change makes noise. It's distracting. Well, fine. It'll stay in my pocket then. Don't worry about it. Because if you think you're getting 10% out of my paycheck every week. Oh, and he wasn't happy monthly. You know, he would say, if you get paid weekly, then every week. Take that 10%. By the end of the month, you won't miss it. Or bi-weekly, by the end of the month, you won't miss it. And if you get paid monthly, it might take you a couple of months to get used to it, but then you won't miss it. And you knew, no matter what priest was having mass, if it came time for the sermon, if that priest sat down, you knew somebody was going to get up and bitch. That turned me off completely. That really did. You know, when you are that fucking greedy. He would be like, well, we have 1,400 families in this parish, and most are earning, X dollars a month. And at my calculations, and then he would sit and brag. I'm entitled to a monthly paycheck. I don't take my paycheck. I turn it back over to the church. Well, let's see. You're living for free. You get your meals for free. The church gives you a car. The church pays for your insurance, your gas, your upkeep. Yeah, you can afford to turn your paycheck over every month. Everybody in that parish breathed a huge sigh of relief when he finally retired. They didn't have to listen to him bitch and moan about money every month. And, they had a school, so every kid that was in that school, their parents were paying tuition, and 90% of the teaching staff was nuns. So it wasn't like there was a big, huge payroll going out every month. Oh my God. Yeah, you'd be sitting there, it'd be time for the sermon, and you'd see Father Smith sit down, and you'd be like, oh shit. And out from the back had come Father Fogarty, and you knew you were in for that when he would take his glasses off. He would set his glasses on the pulpit, wipe his forehead, and then he would start. The drama effect, take the glasses off, wipe the forehead like, oh man. And have the nerve to go, you really won't miss that money. Yeah, I would. And when he bitched about putting change in the collection basket, I left the change in my pocket. And then I quit going. I was like, that's it. I'm done. See ya. And I'll never forget, I ran into him one day. I don't know where I was. Gee, I haven't seen you in Mass lately. Anything wrong? Yeah, you're a greedy bastard, and I'm tired of listening to you beg for money. Otherwise, how you doing, Father? Well, that turned me off, and then when I discovered what my cousin did, I was like, oh, that's it. I'm done. He's been gone. Oh, maybe 4 years now. Yeah, I think he passed away 4 years ago. And there's still members of the family that don't believe it, you know. Father Bill? No, not him. Yeah. You want to see the pages of documents I have that I copied? No, thank you. Yeah, as a matter of fact, they shipped all the nuns. I don't know where they shipped all the nuns to, and now it's a private school. It's not even a Catholic school anymore. Some Bent Bentwood Academy or something. They rent the building from the church. Of course, I think we only have a third of the parishioners that we had back in the day. I don't know how the building well, probably from the rental of the building, and then the convent, they rent that out to, I can't remember who rents the convent building. They turned it like into an office building. Matter of fact, to show you how basically the parishioners dwindled, the back parking lot, they built a bunch of apartment buildings. Of course, that's what's supporting the church. The rental of the school building, the rental of the convent, and all them apartment buildings. Boy, hard to believe. 2 more days, Christmas Eve. Wow. Where'd the year go? Gee, I have to rig up my. I got to get that little form factor computer set up so that we have our New Year's Eve program back here. I better quit dragging my feet already. Got to make sure that that's operating for our big Christmas Eve show. New Year's Rockin' Eve. Yeah, Ron's doing the countdown. He's marking them days. I guess maybe I should go to the store tomorrow and buy Boots a Christmas present. I ain't getting him. Oh, I ain't getting him this year what I got last year. That goddamn com. It was compressed sawdust catnip ball, and I fell for it when it said indestructible. Yeah, That goddamn sawdust throughout the whole frickin' house. I think I'll just get him a regular couple of catnip mousses. And some cat treats. Oops. Easy. I think since I have to assemble my sandwich, I think we'll cut the show early tonight here. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. We will meet again tomorrow night. And hopefully my antibiotics will have really started to kick in because they're not working yet. And with that, take care, everyone. See ya. Take two. See ya.